Hey guys, welcome back to the Stationery Junkie. You know, it's planner season when all of our systems start shifting, packages get delayed, and we suddenly have new stuff that we may or may not have planned to get. But today's video is going to be a mix of all of these, pretty much a stationery chat that I will be talking about some of the system updates that I have, some new things that I've picked up, and a few thoughts here and there about what's next. So let's get right into it. Alright, first update that I wanted to talk to you guys about is something that has to do with my main planner. This is the B6 Owl Paper Planner Journal, and this is the second half of the book. As I mentioned before, that this is like an AVEC style kind of planner, and so far I'm really liking my experience with this planner, even though in previous videos I have mentioned that I would have preferred like a one full year planner, mainly because I just want to reference stuff here and there a couple of months ago, like in the first half of the year. But it's not a huge deal. I will make it work. And I just wanted to share with you some updates that I have of this, because I don't really talk much about my main planner, because if you've seen my earlier videos about my main planner, it's pretty much the same all throughout the year. I do not change planners in any point in time in the year, because I just want the entire year to be in one book, or in this case, two books. And pretty much the way that I plan my work and personal life is the same, meaning a hybrid kind of planning system using the bullet journal method. And I call it a hybrid because bujo, the OG bujo, is really you setting up all of the systems that you want to work in your planner or in your bullet journal. But because I'm using a predated planner, I'm still using the method itself, but I'm using the sections in a different manner. Future log, I refer to this as a future log. I did not fill up the first half of the future log, but I did this in the first half of this book. I did fill up the ones here at the second half of the year, and I like crossing them out just to, you know, feel a bit of fulfillment. I kind of like checking things out. I like to come up with lists of things, and crossing them out really feels very productive for me. So I try to list out certain important events, deadlines at work, or anything that is important to me in this future log, and I cross it out. And coming into the monthly sections, I'm still using it the same way, which is as a line a day. So I'm really happy that I am very consistent with the monthly section in this manner. So I try to change up the inks as well. And one thing that has changed, if you've seen my previous video about this planner, after the monthlies, there is a blank grid here, the one that you're seeing right now. And usually what I do is I do a monthly recap, and I do a page at the right side to look forward, or what do I need to accomplish the next month. Because I mentioned that I tend to not go back to the front matter of the planner, I usually forget to reference back these spreads. I kind of like fell off, but for me, it's not a negative falling off kind of thing. It's just that I treat it in a way that I'm not in that headspace at the moment. So you can see that I did put out like a to-do list for August, and there are some things here that I accomplished, but I have not gone back to cross them out. But then in August, I did not even put up anything here, not even a monthly review. And for me, that is okay, because during these months, they're really very busy for me. Frankly speaking, very hectic. So I did not do anything in these blank spreads. So we're here in October, so I'm filling in my daily one line a day. It's easy for me to just go back if I do not fill up the specific day. And when it comes to the weekly section, I'm still doing it consistently, using it as like my tarot daily pulls. I also do daily horoscope, my current LSS or last song syndrome or earworm for that day, and I do some bit of tracking. I also do some processing of my tarot pulls and my horoscope reflection. So, and I also take note of which inks that I've used on that week, if I use a different pen with a different ink. And this is the only deco that I pretty much do. And pretty much still very consistent. This is something that I fill out every day and something that I do enjoy. And I like how consistent it is. And I feel like I'm still going to be doing this method to the next year because I enjoy it a lot and I see a lot of value to it because I do self-study for tarot and sometimes horoscopes help me to process things. So that's just my way of filling up these sections. And recently, I've been tracking my YouTube subscriber count just very recently. I think I started here on August 28th. So it's just nice to see a visual count of how many subscribers that I've been getting ever since then. So thank you so much if you are part of that community or part of the people who have subscribed. And if you haven't, I do hope that you consider subscribing. And then what else did I change? So my dailies, which I do most of my bullet journal things, is still the same. I still have the dashboard, my wins, gratitude, and story of the day. I do interstitial journaling here for rapid logs, which I really like. Every start of the week, I do an Alistair method where I dump all of my tasks for that week, at least the ones that I do remember. One thing that has changed is I do a weekly reflection that I have changed it up a little bit. I think I discussed this in a previous update of my bullet journal, hybrid bullet journal planner. And one thing that I have changed about this planner is that I've changed the weekly reflection here into a quadrant and then following my Alistair method. And there are times wherein I have not really done the weekly reflection because I was just really too busy. And one thing that I did change is that, or add, is that I do brain dumps now. I usually do the dumping in my Alistair method at the beginning of the week, but there are just days wherein I'm just so busy AF. And when I am very busy and when things are coming in all directions, I get pretty overwhelmed. I get really anxious. So what I did is that to just list everything down on paper, and it helps to calm me down. And I do recommend it if you are feeling the same way that I do when things come at you all at the same time. Brain dumps help to put things on paper and dump it there and let it percolate so that you're not holding on to those thoughts in your head. And doing brain dumps helps me to alleviate or that kind of pain, quote unquote, and helps my mind breathe. So I have been doing quite a lot of brain dumps lately. Just goes to show how many times I have been feeling really overwhelmed. And my weekly reflection, I changed it to this, highlights and lowlights, because like I said, I did not have enough time. And later on, you will see that I have completely stopped doing weekly recaps, weekly reflections, because again, I was just really busy. I did not have time to do that on a Sunday because sometimes my Sundays can be also busy as well. So here I stopped doing the weekly recaps. I'm not sure. I think I'm just not in the right headspace right now. Really goes to show how much overwhelmed I'm feeling right now. But one thing that's really giving me some joy is looking at these pages and looking at how consistent my writing is. I know it's very minor, but I really like flipping through these pages because at this point in time, I used a TWSBI medium, a new pen. I will talk about it later in my stationery haul that I will include in this video. But I have not realized that medium TWSBIs are actually really nice and juicy, and they write really well with Tomoe River. And you can see that the owl paper, Tomoe River paper, does not bleed at all. There is some shadowing or ghosting as characteristic of TRP, but the ink does not bleed through. And I just love the way the ink performs on this paper. This is Vinta Pamana ink that I've inked up on my TWSBI medium fountain pen, and I love how consistent my writing looks like here. And every time I flip on this section when I started using this pen, I really like my handwriting here, so I've been using it quite often. Again, brain dump. I was really overwhelmed around this point. Yeah, I have yet to update this Friday daily log, and yesterday I just did something like this. I never really decorate this except for the weekly section, as I mentioned. But then, I was feeling something. I was feeling all the feels, so I just slapped on some stickers stickers and design something. So that's pretty much how my main planner has been doing, how has it been performing, how is it serving me. And I'm really glad that it's here for me when I need it to be. And I just go with the flow. If there are certain setups that I do not do, like the weekly recap, it has changed and now I'm not even doing it. I just give myself grace because this is the busiest time of my work life around Q3 and Q4. So I'm just going with the flow and trying to survive and trying to keep my wits about me because it's really very hectic, very stressful. But that is the update with my main plan. All right, so I'm gonna start first with the inks. So I have bought a couple of bottles of inks here. As you can see, I have been feeling like I am gravitating towards gray inks lately. And if you have been around for quite a while, you know that my personal preference is towards brown fountain pen inks. But lately I've been craving for some gray, which is very weird, very not me. But I don't know, maybe it's just a phase in my life right now. So I picked up this 15 ml bottle of Pilot Iroshizuku Kiri-Same, and I looked up how this ink is performing and I like the gray color of it. I have not watched this yet, but I will get to it. Just wanted to share that I picked this up, as well as this Herbin ink. This is not gray, but it's like bluish gray. And I really like how it showed up in the samples in the online ink review websites that I've seen. So I picked this up. So usually I would always pick up this size from Herbin because it's not as big and difficult to finish. And this is my very first Sailor Gentle ink. And I also liked the reviews about this gray ink. So I picked it up. And one thing that I'm really excited is this Sailor Penlux fountain pen ink in the pine color. It's not gray, but I do love the green of this ink. When I researched about the performance of the ink in ink review websites, so I'm looking forward to swatching this. So I'm really very excited because I really wanted to try different colors. I've always been a brown person, and to widen my range or widen my exposure to other colored inks is always a new thing. And then just very quickly, I picked up these Midori index clips, and one thing that's different is that it's a small size. So if you can look at how small these tabs are, they're so petite. So let me just show you how they look like. So by the way, before I do show how small these index clips are, I just want to quickly talk about this B6 band that I bought. I think this is also Midori, and I like that it's very taut and it keeps this planner shut. And the fact that, I've noticed that I am gravitating towards just using a clear cover for my main planner, because I do have like the Hobonichi-esque cover, the one with the butterfly pen loops, but I kind of wanted a bit more portability to my planner. So I removed that and just stuck with the clear cover. And I wanted something that would keep my planner shut, because although it's not as chunky, I don't decorate or put ephemera in this planner, I still want to keep it shut, because if it's in my bag, some pages might get flipped or creased and stuff like that. I bought this planner band to keep my planner shut. So anyway, talking about the Midori index clips. So this is the regular index clip, and in the store, it's called a large one. So you can take a look. It's like the standard Chirato index clips that we know. And this is the small one. Look how tiny that is compared to the other index clips that I have here. So it's really tiny, and the footprint is so minuscule, you can barely feel it. And I like that, because sometimes, if I put the pen band here, it might snag on one of these tabs. It's not as protruding as other tabs, and that's the reason why I like these tabs. But this small index tab is the smallest, and I love that. I'm so glad I picked this up, because I was like intrigued, like, why does this look different from the normal Chirato index clips? And then I realized it is a small size. So very cool. so I love that and wanted to show that off. I'll put the pen band later. And then talking about planners, I picked this up because of the cover. So this is a B6 2 days in 1 page planner from a Taiwanese brand called Chuyu Culture. And it's like the Hobonichi of Taiwan, because this is the planner that is available in all bookstores here in Taiwan. And I have been a customer of theirs for a very long time. They not only produce planners, they also create notebooks and basically all the stationery, kind of like what Hobonichi does. Yeah, so Hobonichi and Kokuyo, basically, more on like the Kokuyo. And I'm always looking at their planner designs every year because they do come up with interesting covers, but the guts of their planner are the same. And I picked this up because I really gravitated towards this wavy blue cover, and they're like gold paint here, but it's not foil. So I hope you're seeing that. I really love how calming this design is. But what I also love about their planners is that it's very utilitarian and very straightforward. So maybe if you're interested in me talking about this planner, please let me know. They do have a website and they do have a global website. So if they have a global website, then it means they can ship globally. Yeah, they have a monthly. This is just a monthly and a daily kind of planner. And this is the monthly, how it looks like. And their dailies are like this. So like I said, 2 days in 1 page. So I'm not sure. I think the Nothing Planner has this kind of layout as well. So I really love that this is gridded and the paper is really nice. I have yet to pen test this. So if you are interested in me talking about this planner, please let me know. I did buy last year the batch 1 paper of these planners because I wanted to test the paper. Batch 1 paper is similar to Tomoe River paper, but it's made in China. So, but this is made in Taiwan. So yeah, I really like this. So I bought this for the cover because I want to use it in my owl paper for next year. And I'm thinking about using this planner as well as an overflow kind of planner. Again, I am still formulating my 2026 lineup. I did have like a version 1 lineup or like plan in another video. I will link that up. But this one, I am still thinking about how to use this, but I do have already an idea on how I'm planning to use this. So stick around, especially when I come up with my 2026 lineup to see how I'm planning to use this planner. So the next small thing that I wanted to share is this rub-on sticker from Some Sort of Fern. She is a Taiwanese creator and quite popular in the stationery community in Taiwan. And I believe other stockists in Europe, in the US, in other parts of the world carry Some Sort of Fern. I like her designs pretty much because they're very dreamy, whimsical, very artistic, and she loves cats. I love cats. And speaking of cats, these stamps are from Some Sort of Fern as well. I picked them up because they're so cute. I have a black cat back at home. This stamp reminded me of her. I like this stamp the most because it looks like the cat is giving you a very judgmental look. And I would want to use this in some journal spreads where, you know, I have some thoughts and feels about certain things and I want to have this expression stamped on the page. And this is also a really cute stamp of her Siamese cat. I really love this pair. They come in a pair. They come together like this. So I really love her stamps. They're very cute, very artistic. Speaking of Fern, again, I picked up these note tapes from her. So this design is more of like a fashion magazine cover, if you will. These are tapes, note tapes that kind of like function as stickers, but you can write on them because the texture is matte and not glossy at all, not like a pet tape, but it's like paper with a sticky back end. So you can use it as a post-it or you can use it as a sticky ephemera if you do a lot of collaging for your junk journal, if you do a lot of junk journaling or designing or decorating in your planner. So this is like a really nifty design kind of tape that I really like. So I bought this for that purpose, to decorate some of my other journals, my main journal in particular, and I love the colors in this particular tape. This is like very Taiwanese. I know Hobonichi has this for their Yumi Kitagishi. I did not buy that, but I'm assuming that it's kind of like this where you can write on it, and it's like paper at the front and like a sticky back end. So it's like a sticker. And same thing here, that is like water design from some sort of fern again. I really love the design of this one because it's like something that you can layer with stickers. You can also write on it. There's like textures and, you know, shapes that are really very whimsical, very cute, and would really add a lot of flair to your journal. So this is what I picked up, and I really, really love some sort of fern. I can't say it enough. I love her designs, and it's always the reason why I'm very excited whenever she has a new release. I love her style of stationery design. So that's what I picked up from her. And speaking of tapes, so this one is from Hairmo. I like this one because it's like black and white, and this is already pre-cut. So I don't know about you guys, but I tend to not buy PET tapes unless they're pre-cut because I don't have time to fussy cut really pretty. Even if they're so pretty, if they're not pre-cut, I'm not gonna buy them. But this one, I'm so happy that they are pre-cut because there are some smaller designs that would be such a pain to cut it by yourself. So I really like this, and would make really nice collages in my journal and to like spruce things up. The fact that it's black and white feels very dramatic to me, so that's the reason why I picked this up. What else did I not talk about? Okay, I think we're coming to the last one. So this is my new pen, the TWSBI Eco Serpentine. I've seen so many videos about this, so I'm late to the game, but it's fine. I'm so glad I picked this up because I'm not the kind of person to pick up something that's just newly launched. I tend to just wait a little bit and see whether I like it or not, whether it's really important to me to get, and then I bit the bullet and bought this one. So as you know, as you have probably seen, if you are a fountain pen enthusiast, these marble designs from TWSBI are unique and no design is alike. And so that's the reason why I picked this up. I was so enamored by the color, the green swirls, green, black, and the one that I have is a white, like smoky effect that I really like. And also here at the bottom part where you twist the piston, there is like a white thing here that somewhere here. I hope the camera picks that up. So yeah, I love it, and it's a medium. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a medium bronze nib that I inked up with Vinta Pamana. So I really love that. This is so amazing. I'm in love with this pen, and I'm glad that I waited long enough because it means that I really love it. I really wanted to have it instead of just something that caught my eye, you know, and then I do not even pick up or use. But then yeah, I really love this, and I love how my writing looks and feels in this paper in my main planner. Okay, so let's talk about my Hobonichi order. I placed it last September 15, and it was supposed to arrive here in Taiwan on October 1, but apparently there's been a bit of delay in customs, but there's really no problem on my side. Duties and fees here are fine. I don't have anything extra to pay, but honestly, it's been giving me a bit of anxiety waiting for it. I feel like the wait itself was long enough, and now it's just sitting there somewhere. But I keep refreshing the FedEx tracking page like a psychopath, and I swear I check it multiple times a day, and I'm hoping that it gets here by tomorrow, October 5th, hopefully. But I'm not even sure if FedEx delivers on weekends, so it's really such a silly thing to stress about. But if you are also waiting for a Hobonichi box, I know you get it. And you know, that mix of excitement and torture. And you know what's even funny? While I've been waiting, planner season has been in full swing, and all of these planner companies are announcing all of their new lineups, and I'm over here trying to steel myself like, no, you don't need to buy another planner, you don't need another planner. But it's really tough. I'm sure every one of you watching this or here on YouTube, and planner YouTube in particular, know how tough it can get. And every time I see a launch post or a new cover reveal, I start mentally justifying why it would fit perfectly in my system. But I'm genuinely excited to use the planners that I already have, like this one. But at the same time, I kind of don't want to rush into 2026 just yet, even if I'm so excited to use the planners that I already have in mind. I just want to savor the holidays a little bit more before going back into survival mode. You know, that feeling when you can almost sense that next year's business is creeping, you know, that kind of thing. But honestly, planner season always tests my willpower. It's so hard not to buy all the things, especially when life has been heavy. You know, when my mental health dips, stationery becomes my comfort zone, and lately life has really been lifing, so it's been extra hard to resist, like you wouldn't believe. You know, I just wish I had more time to actually play with my stationery, to journal, to experiment with layouts, to just enjoy it. But right now it feels like there's this never-ending list of things that I have to clear before I can sit down and have a quiet, creative moment. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I've been feeling lately. But yeah, that's where I'm at, waiting on my Hobonichi, trying to stay calm during planner season and reminding myself that it's okay to slow down a little. That's my little update for today. Planner talk, hauls, Hobonichi chaos, and that tiny bit of life in between. If you're going through planner season right now, I hope you're being kind to yourself and finding joy in the little things. But I just want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you've enjoyed this cozy catch-up, don't forget to like the video and maybe share what you've been using or waiting for this year in the comment section, and I'd love to know. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care, stay creative, and enjoy your stationery.